Okay. So you don't have a Google business profile. It's actually a pretty simple process to go through and actually create one from scratch, and something it's better for you to do on your side than for us to do and send ownership to you. Way more complicated. So, in order to do this first, we're going to head on over to your Google account. And in this case, I'm inside of a work account, so it's managed by a Google workspace. It's not a my name at gmail.com. It's a Stuart at easybrand.com, Stuart at google.support, .com. You can set up Google accounts as a workspace. That's the business side, just like Outlook would be. The free version is the Gmail. Now, this works for both of them. I would highly recommend, though, that you do, if running a business, entertain that at yourbusinessname.com or bat.app in our case, because that will you know solidify brand presence and professionability, just because you guys actually seem more like a business than just an at Gmail, which anyone can make. So first off, you want to make sure you're signed in. And in this particular example, I'm actually showing you inside of a Chrome browser. Okay, so this is a Chrome browser, right? And I'm using a Mac. Just to know, there's a difference between this right here and this little account icon over in the top right hand corner is where you select who I'm logged into in it. But up here, I can choose my Chrome profile. So I can have multiple accounts or multiple profiles. So when I log in, they have certain set of saves and bookmarks and all that sort of stuff. In this particular case, what I have right here is I'm logged into this individual account. You may have multiple accounts. It's very important that you try to keep all your Google services in one account. So again, if you have a business one or a personal one, even if it's an at Gmail, it's very important that you find the right one. Make sure you're logged into the correct one, not accidentally in the wrong one, or you think you're in the right one in a Google Chrome profile, but you really need to be in this one down here. The best bet is just to go to Google or go to a new tab. Just go to Google itself, straight to a Google, and the main homepage you come to, this profile, when you click on this, add account, there will be a drop box that will have other versions of that where you could select other accounts. This is the best way to make sure you're in that account and not get confused by the Chrome profile if you're using it. Safari, Edge, any of those other browsers, you would be going to Google anyway and then using this icon. I just know that a lot of people who use Chrome get confused between these two. Make sure you just go to google.com and you're clicking on this. You've signed in. You can access the Gmail and see all the information and go, oh, that's the right account, my business one at Gmail or whatever. So the first thing you're going to go to, and I'm going to put this link here in, this will be on the page somewhere below this video. This is where you go to. This is a very simple link to it. Be careful, there are some scam ones out there. So it's important that you do keep an eye that it's copy pasted exactly, or you find that it actually has Google spelled correctly. It looks like it's actually got the Google logo. Like I said, just copy and paste what I have down there. I'll give you the official one. And when you come here, it's just the homepage for it. Again, assuming you have logged in correctly when you did this first, right? You started here first, made sure you were logged in as the right one, and then you go up here and paste that new location up here. So I can just do that, copy. So I'm logged into this one. I can paste it up here. I'm still technically logged into that one. Now this here is to do with ad accounts. You don't have to worry about that little profile icon being blue. You see how it doesn't change for me either. What you want to go to is the start now. Very simple. If you haven't logged in at all, it may ask you to log in. Just go straight to the start now. That is what we're going to click. And it starts with just the walkthrough of simple A, B, C questions. What's your business name? What is the category? This is not something you can necessarily mess up, so you don't have to concern yourself too much. And I'll do a little bit of a walkthrough here for you because we're going to be optimizing it after the fact. The main thing is that you put in the things that you actually want to be. So choosing your name would be one of those priority things to think about. My company name. And it's going to give you some options. There may be some other ones you may have made if someone already had one, you're trying to make a new one, or if there's some others that it wants to say, oh, you're probably copying that, or, just in case you didn't know, there's some out there. My company name. If you are a realtor, I would suggest very highly that you do stick with your name as best you can. I know there are some regulations related to your brokerage being in there as well. You have to remember that when you change your brokerage, it can be a nightmare. So if you can get away with not having any unique identifying information that isn't related to your personal business. So if you're any type of freelancer who's working for another company, try to keep yours separate, because if you ever do move on, changing that will usually require a re-verification, especially if you have an address. Okay, so that's an important thing to note right off the bat. So number one thing is try to just stick with, if you are a business and your business is your name, you're a coach, you're selling services, personal gym services. Unless you have a brand name that you've LLC'd or created an EIN for, it's probably best just to use your name. But if you do have that EIN information, go with exactly as it is, because if you come to that verification process later, or any number of services that Google offers that connect to Google Business Profile, it should match. If it doesn't match exactly, they won't take it. They don't like it. They need it to match, and then they'll make you go through a lot more hell. So this should match your company, how it actually looks. Okay. Category. I just said real estate, so we can type that in. Lawyer. HVAC, I believe they have. Yep, HVAC contractor. Again, I know a lot of normal people call it AC. Hair extensions, barbershops, restaurant, rest stop, which is interesting. Yeah, you can pick any number of things. Now, there will be some different variables for those answers. So it is important you try to get the right one here, because it gives you a certain amount of things, and there are some rules around what you're going to do. I'm going to choose for this one, lawyer. Okay. So you have some different types of lawyers. You can choose what type you really identify as, or you can just simply pick something simple like this as a lawyer. So clicking next. Do you have a location? Two parts to this. If you have a location, verifying that address, if there's more than one business in that address, it can be a little more complicated. Doesn't mean you can't do it. It just can be more complicated. If you are an independent contractor in that real estate category, where you may work from home, or you do have a brokerage, you can still, say that your home address is where you really do work from. You won't probably want your address public, your personal address public, and a lot of businesses don't want their personal address public. They don't have that front location, so you'll hit no. It's important that you understand that distinction, that if you do have an address that you can clearly say, I have the keys to, I have signage, I rent this space, then you should say yes. If you don't, hit no, and we can always have a conversation about it after the fact. But right off the bat, that's going to be more harder to rank for. I'm going to go through the no process, but the yes process would be putting the address in. It could give you some errors. This changes. They do tweak this a little bit, but it could give you some errors if there's already an address there, or if there is one, it may want you to pick that. So I'm going to choose the no option from here. Again, none of these questions, if this looks different, should be rocket science. You can't really go wrong, that anything we can't unfix. So we're just going through the process. Cool. Select some areas. So if you don't pick an address, that clearly defines your address of where it thinks you work. You select areas. So we're in Las Vegas. As people here know, you'll know Summerlin, Las Vegas. You can get more granular. Enterprise, right? Enterprise, NV. Sometimes you may have to put it in if it's a common one. Put NV in. NC, Hendersonville. If you have two of these, TN, NC, those two, you could definitely dial in if there was a lot of them. So I would suggest you put in. It has a cap. It's about 20 or 10. There's a limit to it. I don't know exactly what the limit is. We fill it up with as many as we can, based on your answers from there. You can't do anything wrong. We can always change this. So just put in which ones you think. That form you filled out, or will fill out, the form you will fill out from this place. We will ask you for more of these. We will dial in the more highly rankable ones that you can get. But if you do have any specialty ones, it is a good time to be thinking about what those locations are in Las Vegas. There's not everything, but a lot of the sub-cities and suburbs inside of Las Vegas are available, and that goes for all cities across the nation. Cool. Phone number, important. If you have one, there's an option inside of the Google Business Profile to make it a text, which to not only be a phone that will get rings, but you could also chat with customers, and they have an option to just chat with you right there. I would highly recommend, if you have a cell phone, to do that, or you have a phone set up as a separate number that can accept text messaging instead of just a landline. Doesn't mean you have to. We just don't choose that option. But putting one in that is a phone number would be the ticket. I'm going to go ahead and just put in our number. Give me 1 second. Okay. Website, let's just type in. Okay. Again, is it chat? You can separate out that number um, as a different one, but I would really recommend that you just, you do the business out of the one if you are a mobile. But if you have that landline, I would recommend getting a separate one for that in that process, in that step. Like having a phone available for chat. This day and age, people want to communicate, do it digitally. Think Uber, think DoorDash, those sort of things. The new generation wants to do that. So if your business is going to cater to anyone sub 40, they might want to start thinking about definitely accepting chat. Okay. Notifications. Do you want to get emails about it? It's up to you. This is an address that you have to go in to verify. Now, verification process is just so they have some who you are as a business and to match those ID backends. We selected no, we don't have an address where people can go. This will not be privy information to the public. So you can put in your personal address if that is the case, if you are working out of your house, and that would be fine. But obviously, if you have a store location or even one that is local or connects to multiple businesses or it's in a strip mall, just put that address in here right now. I'm going to choose verify later because that process I'm not going to go through. This is just a demo account. We're going to add some services. Now, these are a number of like interesting little services that you can put in here that may be some defaults that it has. Again, we will tweak and add more to it, but feel free to go through here and add things you think are important, especially if you just made this account and then we're setting it up for you. We'll take on board, oh, that's some of the answers that I already put in. Again, you're going to have a form to fill out more of these informations, but let's say I do a few of these things. I want to add some extra stuff. I do, car accidents. I can type in whatever I want. I would suggest it looks, the same formatting with capital at the front. So, I mean, obviously what I did there isn't correct, but go ahead and do that. We're going to hit next. Hours. Super important that you do have the appropriate hours that you work for. If you are a business that if you can strengthen out and lengthen out your hours of availability, that is kind of seen by Google. It's not one of the highest ranking reasons that Google might pass you customers. But if you're open and someone else isn't, when they search, they'll get the business, the person who's open. So it is important that if your competition's open on Sunday, whatever it is you do, and they say open here, they're going to show up if people are looking for them on Sunday. You won't, unless they directly put in your name and number. So opening these up to whatever days you're available is going to be awesome. There is a 24-hour option if you just select it up here at the top, but otherwise you can scroll down and go your open time to, whatever random hour you want, which this is an odd business, if I might say so myself, and a description. Go ahead and put in any information you want. You're going to be asked to fill out a form in the next page. So add in what you think, some extra information. We're going to keyword rich and fill this description up, and this is going to be the main mama jama. So like I said, there's 750 characters. Whatever you put in here, we will take into consideration, but it's ultimately what you put into the form in the next part of this tutorial or like onboarding process that will really give us the pieces of information that we need to make this, flesh this out so you rank better. I'm not going to finish this up and make a profile inside of this account. I'm not sure if there's one more thing after this. It's going to be pretty straightforward, probably an agree. Maybe do you want to run ads? They often ask that process. Nothing here you do, like I said, can be wrong. So finishing up this process is going to be something you can't fail at, even if you skip through all of these pieces. The whole point of you now seeing this video, I know you're using the service and you're going through, we're going to fix it all up for you. So there's nothing you can really do wrong that we can't fix for you, especially for those addresses, or if you've got the number, or you said, I put my personal and I said yes, and I don't want to be seen. Cool, we just change it. When you first make a profile, it doesn't go live instantly. It knows it's got to go through a check. It has to double verify that everything isn't, you're not putting weird stuff in there. You're not saying some stuff you shouldn't. And it also isn't, if it doesn't have pictures and it isn't optimized in any way, it just doesn't show up. Like try Googling yourself and not having one of these, or having one and never doing anything with it, you won't show up. So there's nothing you can do wrong is kind of the main gist of this. So go ahead and do that. And like I said, your main point will be that it's inside of your own account. This is why I'm giving you a tutorial. There's nothing I would hop on an onboarding call with you to do otherwise that wasn't explained in here. So if unless there's something really different from what I've shown you, that would be the only time to jump on a support call. And we have that as an option if this fails. But go ahead and do this and get this set up. And once you do, the next phase will show you what to do when it comes to access and making sure we can get into it after the fact. So I'll see you in one of the next videos. Okay, so I just wanted to show you really quickly while I was here. Once you make that Google Business Profile, it might be a little hard to find it afterwards. The simplest way is going to Google, to your home. So whatever, go to Google, go to the same place. Again, make sure you're in the correct icon, the correct profile that you need to be. And then you're going to hit these 9 dots and you're looking for this app inside of the Google Chrome browser, or as Google, through those 9 dots, you're looking for the Google Profile Manager. You can Google search this and it will probably take you to it as well. But if you don't see this, you can also scroll down here and there might be a more button. But that is the button you are currently looking for. And that will take you to a list of, if you have multiple or if you have the one, that will take you to where your profile is that you can click on. And then the next screens will show you some screenshots of how you can give access to us. So hopefully that helps make it a little easier to find where you need to go. So, all right, I'll see you in the next one. I really will this time.